Alright guys, so I thought this would be a fun idea to do because this is one that's actually been on my mind for a bit. Like, this is one that's been kind of fermenting in my brain for a hot minute, so I was like, you know what, this would be kind of fun to really talk about. Like, this would be something I would really like to, like, share with everybody. Yeah, so as you can see, this is Spider-Man, Enemy of the State. So Spider-Man Enemy of the State is kind of a story that's a succession to Wolverine Enemy of the State. So this is kind of like the sequel to it. So in this story, Spider-Man is just kind of like web-slinging along, just having a grand old time, and then he gets attacked by Lady Bullseye and the Hand. They fight, and what happens is Spider-Man is subdued by Lady Bullseye and the members of the Hand, and they're like, we got plans for you. Like, we're dusting off a plan, and we think it, like, and we've got it all for you. So what happens is they use their techniques to kill Spider-Man, resurrect him as their new assassin. Not as a new leader of the Hand, but as, like, their new weapon on the superhero community. And you maybe think, well, that's kind of a downgrade. You know, you did Wolverine, but now you're doing, now you're using Spider-Man. That seems like a downgrade. No, the difference is that Spider-Man is, if anything, an upgrade, and they have targets for Spider-Man to use. And the thing of it is that kind of like with Wolverine, where in here Peter is kind of like, it's not like he's mind controlled and is silent. He's more like he can crack jokes, he can still talk. It's just that his sense of humor is now like darker and he's more like malicious. And of course, like, his first target is Daredevil, who, if not for Elektra, he would have been dead, because he realizes, oh my god, Peter's under control of the Hand. This is like the worst thing. And Elektra had to come in and save him. Even then, like, Peter holds his own against both of them at the same time. And Matt and Elektra go to warn the Avengers, and they're like, dude, guys, this is like code red. This is the worst case scenario for anyone in our situation. Like, this is like a worst case scenario. We have got to, warn everybody. And Tony is like, guys, come on, Spider-Man, like, Peter's, pretty smart, and I admit he's pretty cool, but, like, we're the Avengers. Peter couldn't take us all on. And that's when Matt, Matt basically says, you don't understand. Like, that's your problem. Like, everyone in this room has, like, we've all worked with Spider-Man, but the problem is we've never, you guys never understood, like, how strong he is. I've been his friend for years, and I know firsthand that you all underestimate him. In our fight, when I realized that Pete was under control of the Hand, I understood that this guy is lethal. He's straight up lethal. We gotta take this seriously. So Iron Man's still like, whatever, he can't stop us. So meanwhile, what's going on is that they're like, well, where's Spider-Man now? And that's when they get a call from Shuri, and Shuri says, you got to get here now. Shuri says, you got to get to Wakanda now. Turns out Spider-Man is in Wakanda and battling T'Challa. He managed, thanks to his spider sense and his intellect, he managed to break into Wakanda and fight and kill several people, and get through the defenses to get to T'Challa. And even T'Challa's like, holy shit, how did Peter Parker do? How did Spider-Man get the best of Wakandan technology? And he's like, I built that with Reed, and Tony, how could you have gotten past the most secure nation in the world? And he's like, and Peter's like, that's the thing that always bothered me about you people. You all looked down on me. You all thought I was just the guy who cracked jokes and thought, like, oh, I'm so dumb. And just like, oh, here's, good old Spider-Man. He's just here to, throw a good laugh and be a joke to everybody. None of you took me seriously, and I'm a little mad about that. And he and Black Panther fight, and T'Challa's already like, holy shit, this guy's good. Like, Peter and him have he's never really fought Spider-Man, and he's like, this is he is keeping pace with me constantly, and he uses like some Wakanda technology to like disable Spider-Man's spider sense for a minute, like just override him and get away. And that's when the Hand come in, grab Spider-Man, and leave, and move on to their next target. And their next target is the Fantastic Four. So they break into the back. So they're like, well, we did this before with Wolverine. Like, Wolverine did this before, so we've covered all bases since that whole mess with Spider-Man. But the thing is, Peter still broke in because he knew the passcodes to get it. He figured out the passcodes to get in and override everything. And again, and this time, like, Johnny is there, like Johnny Storm is there, and he's like, Peter, you gotta stop, man. You and me are friends. I know you're still in there. And Peter's like, fucking please. And he's like, your webs can't stop me. Like, those webs, and you can't even touch me. And he's like, you're right. Which is why I kind of amplified my webs to be flame retardant to a high level. Also, I took some stolen Stark tech to upgrade them so I could block your fucking fire. And he just webs Peter up in all these webs that literally cancel out like, no matter how hot he gets, Johnny can't get out of these webs. He takes down Ben. He actually is like, well, I can't get past Sue. You're right, but you always had a weakness, Sue. I can't break through your shield. There's nothing I could do. You know what I can do? I can throw your fucking kid out a window. So he grabs Valeria and just chucks her out the window. Just grabs her, throws her out the window, forcing Sue to like grab onto her, or like try to reach out to grab her. Spider-Man, seeing that Sue is open, decks her and knocks her, takes her down, and that's when he gets to Reed, and Reed's like, I've always respected you, son. Like that, like I've always like respected your intelligence. I've always like you were an equal to me. And he's like, Reed, you are too, like the thing, like stop. He's like, Reed, stop. You don't see anyone as an equal. If any, I hate Doom, but he's right. You think you're the smartest guy in the room, and you're not. And yeah, you are pretty smart, but you know what you aren't? People smart. For instance, watch this. So Peter actually like used his webs to grab a piece of a piece of the wall behind him and pull it down on Reed. So he gets out of there. He's stolen technology that the Hand wants, and that technology is basically to amplify their resurrection progress so it can be permanent. Like, essentially, like, there's no, like, oh, you can break through and, you can be saved. Nope, this is to amplify it to be, forever with the Hand, no matter what. Now, you may be thinking, well, what about Spider-Man's main characters? Well, the Avengers have, like, gone to, see MJ and, like, Black Cat and, the other other like supporting members, and J. Jonah. You may be thinking, well, Jonah would definitely have a field day with Spider-Man going rogue, and since this is like kind of like a current Marvel run, kind of, Jonah is like kind of on Peter's side, and he's like, the one time he becomes a menace, and I'm on his side. God damn it, Peter Parker. He's just like, Jonah is so mad because he's literally giving me what I've always wanted, and I can't take it from him. Damn it! Meanwhile, while this is all going on, Matt has been putting together like a Spider-Man hunting group, and the people he puts together are like people who would know Peter best. And he gets together Johnny. He gets Johnny. He gets Black Cat. He also gets Wolverine on this team, as well as he gets Wolverine, and he's also like, we gotta get one more person, and it's Punisher. Actually not Punisher, not Punisher. It's Miles. Yeah, Miles is the last member of this team. Sorry, why did I say Punisher? I meant I was like, for some reason my brain went Punisher because that's who Peter goes after next. Obviously, we're kind of discounting the Frank is head of the Hand. So yeah, Punisher like takes on Peter, and he's like, dude, did you ever think that you could beat me? Like, I'm literally a guy who can take out knock the Hulk on his ass if I really wanted to. You've always been a guy with guns. You want to know why? Like, I've always you've always tried to think, you always thought you could hang with me in a fight, because I fucking pitied you and your dead family. I've always pitied you, Frank, and I'm out of pity, honestly. So he just unloads on a punch that just shatters all of Frank's ribs in one hit, and he's like, dude, you are a murderer, you're a psychopath, and honestly, when this is over, I'm gonna go dig up your family and piss all over their graves. Bye. So yeah. Thankfully, though, Reed builds a device to deprogram Spider-Man. But at this point, he's taking on like Shang-Chi. He's taking on Moon Knight. He's taking on Deadpool. Even Wolverine, who in the Wolverine fight, he's like, Logan, don't, okay, please. Like, he literally tells Logan, like, you've never beaten me. Even before this whole thing with the hand, you've never ever beaten me, dude. Like, I've always won the fights. And Logan's like, this might be the day, and he's like, it's not gonna be. And Spider-Man beats him, and when he goes after Iron Man with with Iron Man at Stark Tech, Spider-Man, like, he gets a Spider Buster armor out, which is an armor that he equipped. He's like, Peter's like, oh man, damn, you're right, you could totally beat me with that armor. Or I could do the opposite and just kind of show that you've basically been building all these armors to take out all of us outside of the Hulk to the entire Avengers and break their trust with you. So, did you think I was dumb? So yeah, Peter, instead of fighting Iron Man, he just literally uses his case as like a photographer. He takes pictures and emails them to the Avengers directly to show that Tony Stark had been building Iron Man armors to combat all of the Avengers in secret. And he just wrecks Tony like that, and he just goes on his fucking way. Of course, the one person who could be a threat to all of this is who else but Mary Jane. And by the end of it, MJ manages to, like, with the help of Black Cat and Matt's team, they manage to, like, MJ's there, and she's like, Peter, you gotta stop. I know you're in there. And he's like, why don't you love me? I mean, that whole thing with the devil is over. Like, things with Mephisto is over. Like, why can't we be together? It's like some kind of force is keeping us apart. I don't want that. And, like, you were the one person I've always wanted above all else. And this is my chance to be with you constantly. I'm free of these inhibitions. I'm free of all of that. And MJ's like, that's good, but, like, this is all wrong, and I know a part of you knows it. And of course, Peter's distracted enough that Matt's team gets in, subdues Spider-Man, and they, like, deprogram Spider-Man. They deprogram Peter from the hand. However, like, Spider-Man, of course, the old Parker guilt gets the best of him, and he's like, I will never live this down for the rest of my life. And Logan's like, shut up, kid, this ain't your fault. Why you gotta be so enough with the guilt complex, kid. And then there's like, well, there's still the matter of the hand. Like, what do we do about the hand and what they've done? And Logan and Matt are like, we got an idea. So what Daredevil and Wolverine did was basically poison the spells and enchantments that the hand uses to resurrect and mind control people. Him, Elektra, and Daredevil did that, and now they're like, we can't bring anyone back again, like, as the way they have. Like, they can't get, like, their death can be permanent, and the hand can't taint it anymore. So there you go. Guys. That is pretty much Spider-Man, Enemy of the State. So, but you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.